Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity.
Welcome.
You're hearing resoundingly from the public that they are very concerned about the option of public-private partnership. So I thought I would try and focus this afternoon on two specific aspects of that. The first I want to talk about is the some aspects of the business case that you've been considering, and secondly, some of the trade agreement implications of what you're considering. So first of all, with regard to the business case, the peer review group that you met with this morning made the point to you that the choice of the discount rate impacts the net present value calculation very directly. And they said that if the discount rate was higher than the 7.5% that Ernst & Young has assessed, that it would make the P3 look more favorable. They didn't note the clear corollary of that, which is that if the discount rate is lower than 7.5%, it will make the public options more attractive. This helps to highlight that this entire exercise that Partnerships BC is putting you through with regard to this net present value calculation is an entirely theoretical construct. For example, I wonder if any of us can really accurately define what an internal rate of return means in a public project. But that is the basis on which this discount rate is chosen. In the United Kingdom, the discount rate is 3.5% for all projects that are reviewed as potential public-private partnerships. Here Partnerships BC is saying that it should be 7.5%. The Partnerships BC methodology double counts risk, because risk is already part of that internal rate of return calculation. So there's the risk there, and then there's the risk that's otherwise explained in the business case. So it's double counted. So I think we need to think through the validity of these kinds of theoretical calculations when at least 2/3 of the funding for the capital for this project will be public financing in all scenarios. Both the federal government and the CRD have made clear that you want to use public funding. It's only the provincial portion that's being considered for private financing. Now, with regard to trade agreements, we at the Canadian Union of Public Employees circulated to you yesterday a legal opinion that we obtained from Mr. Stephen Schreibman of Sack, Goldblatt, and Mitchell, who's a very well-known trade lawyer. And Mr. Schreibman was asked to review the brand new Canada-US procurement agreement, which is the agreement between a new trade deal between Canada and the US that was structured in response to the Buy America provisions in the US. And Mr. Schreibman was asked to review that agreement in the context of your wastewater treatment program. He concluded that the new trade agreement contains temporary rules that will make it very difficult for the Capital Regional District to achieve many of its stated objectives for the sewage treatment project, including environmental protection and local economic development, particularly if you choose a public-private partnership model. Mr. Schreibman compares the CUPA, is the acronym, the Canada-US Procurement Agreement, with the Agreement on Internal Trade and the Trade Investment and Labor Mobility Agreement, TILMA. And he finds that the constraints of the new trade deal that they impose on the CRD procurement options go well beyond those other two existing agreements. Moreover, Mr. Schreibman says that unlike the other agreements, the new trade deal does not exempt procurement related to water, water-related services, and the protection of the environment. Where the new trade agreement rules apply, they impose significant constraints on your ability to meet important public policy goals related to environmental protection, economic development, green technology, and predictable project management. In particular, it prohibits you from requiring that construction contractors use some proportion of local or Canadian goods, services, or labor in carrying out the sewage treatment project, which would work against your stated goal of maximum economic benefit to the CRD and British Columbia in terms of jobs and economic benefits.
You have 1 minute, Blair.
Thank you. So he provided some advice on how to deal with the strictures in the new agreement. And he says that the conventional public approach to procurement offers several important advantages over the P3 model, allowing the sewage treatment project to avoid being captured by the new CUPA rules, including allowing key project functions to be carried out by in-house staff or consultants retained by the CRD rather than part of a procurement for construction and related services, allowing non-construction services such as environmental design, energy conservation, and various financial services to be hired or procured separately from any procurement of construction and related services,
Can you wrap up?
and adopting a staged approach that would allow certain construction to be procured beyond the September 2011 date when the CUPA expires. So because a P3 model contemplates a much larger and comprehensive procurement for all of those kinds of things, Mr. Schreibman advises that it would be in your interest to not pursue a P3 if you want to pursue the economic and environmental objectives that you've stated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.